I'm now going to read the preamble of the Constitution. Ke ena thapelo ya kano e re e etsang le baetapele ba rona. Re a e etsa ka letsatsi la kajeno baratuwa ba ka ka gore re batla ho etsa sekgopotso sa selekane sena esisenzileyo nabantu abasikhokheleyo ukuthi nathi re phahamise taba ya Constitution ya South Africa. Yona ibaleka ka tsela e tjena. We, the people of South Africa, recognize the injustices of our past, honor those who suffered for justice and freedom in our land, respect those who have worked to build and develop our country, and believe that South Africa belongs to all who live in it, united in our diversity. We therefore, through our freely elected representatives, adopt this Constitution as the supreme law of the Republic, so as to heal the division of our past and establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights. Lay the foundation for a democratic and open society in which government is based on the will of the people and every citizen is equally protected by law. We improve the quality of life of all citizens and free the potential of each person and build a united and democratic South Africa, able to take its rightful place as a sovereign state in the family of nations. May God protect our people. Nkosi sikelele Africa, Murena buluka setjhaba sa heso. God Godsien said Africa. God bless South Africa. Mudzimo fatutetsa Afrika. Hosi katekisa Africa. You may be seated.
Ke a leboga moradisi yo a fano ke nna ke Furilo wa Seleka ba phuthing ba gaetso ke a le amogela lo lotlhe ba le leng fano e rile ga le utlwa kgoeletso maobane la tsaya matsapa gore le tlo utlwa se e le gore le sibileditswe jaaka e le gore no le utlwile gore no maobane la ba le kwa dikolong mme fela ke tlo nka sebaka ke a leboga ke lebogala ba puso ya South Africa ke ba emedi ba lona ba South Africa ba mo pusong ke re ba ska latlha ba nne ba bua ba tla mo ho lona ba tlo khothatsa bana ba rona ba bannye ke leboga le bona ba DAF tswellang pele motso ra le leboga le ne le tlisa di event mo go Seleka mo bana ba rona ba khono go tlhabologa le bona ke a leboga.
To give us our opening address, ke kgopela gore Dr. Regina Mohaule, that is our Deputy Minister of Basic Education, at the staging.
Santla, ke batla dumedisa bogosi ba mo hae ba Phuthing ya ga Seleka, and all Matuna and other traditional leaders ba ile hore ba teng fana. Minister of Basic Education, Me Angelina Motshekga, the MEC for Education in the province of Limpopo, Me Lerole Ramakhanya, the councillors and mayors, senior representatives from government, from Unilever and its brand Dove, senior officials from DBE and the province of Limpopo, SGP members, Batswadi, our very important guests who are our children, ladies and gentlemen, dumelang. Kora ke tsebe ka Setswana he ba re dumelang whether batho ba ba offended. Rena ko Pitori ya re dumelang batho ba dumele ba rage. Mara o fitla Limpopo MEC batho ba nyaka ulo ba locha. Ba re thobela ba locha. Kwa gae ga matlala re a locha. Mo ka gore le bua Setswana a ke tsebe mara thobela. Ke correct akere? Ke thobela? Ke re la lotšha? Oh, dumelang. Ke bona o ka re ba kwatile, ke re dumelang, o ka re, nna ke tseba kwa gae ga Matlala, o re ka re dumelang ba kwata. Dumelang. Le kae? Wow, le Batswana ka nnete. Ke itumetse he hore le nna ka tsatsi la gompieno ke be part ya meeting ona. Re biditswe ke DAV, mara DAV is our partner. In fact, our partner ke Unilever. Unilever partner ya yona ke DAV, and DAV ina le di-partner tse ngata. So, re kopane ka jekule gore re tlo celebrate ngwana wa ngwanyana, a girl child. Mara bjalo re le department ya basic education, a re tlohele ngwana wa mosimane, because re nkile sebaka se se telele re bua ka ngwana wa mosetsana, because ngwana wa ngwanyana na saletse morao. Le ka tlhago ya rena banyana ne ba sa dumelelwa go tsena sekolo, ra gopola kere dithaka tsa ka di a gopola, banyana ne ba sa dumelelwa go tsena sekolo. He le hae go na le ngwana ngwanyana le wa mosimane e ba yene ba re a ye sekolong, wena ba re lebelela dipitsa mo hae o nne kitcheneng. But then that's why ke ka lebaka leo government a ba le program ya gore ngwana ngwanyana o botlhokwa le yena mo setšhabeng, a re mo theosetse godimo. Then at that time he re theosa ngwana ngwanyana ra lebala ngwana wa mosimane, and ngwana wa mosimane le yena a developa anger ka mo hare, a simolla o kwata, a simolla o practice di-violence le di-gender based violence, a berekisa matla hae gore banyana ba o ka re favoriwa bona re tlo ba bontsha, re tlo ba betha, ba every day, gore ba ba tie dilo tse kaofela. So rena re this month kgwedi yona e ya October, re le before e fela swantse re be le moletlo o gore re celebrate ngwana wa ngwanyana, ka gore letsatsi le kgethilwe ke United Nations. Ka ge le yona mo South Africa, United Nations, the whole world, e kgethile letsatsi la bomme e le di 8 tsa March. Di 8 tsa March re celebrate bomme ka kakaretso lefatshe kaofela. Then le di 11 tsa October e ba letsatsi la ngwana wa ngwanyana, ra mo celebrate ka gore ke letsatsi le re filweng ke United Nations. So this year ka 2022 topic ya letsatsi le e re digital generation, our generation. Rena he re gola ne re tshameka mikete, re tshameka all other 6, the roller skates and all, mara bona ba tshameka digital akere ra ba bona wena o sa khone o bula phone ya hao, bona ba khone o bulela yona ka speed, ba khone o itlhalohanya before wena o itse phone ya hao. Ke re bona ba tswetse ka nako yona ya technology, dilo tsa technology ba di tshwara fast. So re leboga seuwe. So we are officially opening this program at this stage, but we recognize the various activities that have been undertaken in the days proceeding to this day. Re kwila ke ba DAV ne ntse ba communicate le bana ba rena ne se ba simolotse rena re tlo feleletsa ka jeko. So all these activities focus on building self-confidence, boitshepo. Bana ba rena ba banyana ha bana boitshepo ka gore our history ke yona e irileng gore bana le basadi ba tlhoke boitshepo, ba tlhoke seriti, ba sa itse gore bana le seriti sa go tshwana le the counterparts ba banna. Le rena re le bomme sometimes ge re na le bontate re kwa o ka re o ka emella ntate a bua, nna ke le mosadi nka se khone o bua because ha ke na boitshepo. So re batla bana ba gole bana le go itshepa, ba di tlhalohanye gore le bona bana le ke batho mo setšhabeng, bana le maikutlo, bana le maikarabelo, bana le everything e le gore basimane bana le yona. So today we look at Department of Basic Education and DAV, We are leading the pack of all social partners as we commemorate the International Day of the Girl Child and make a positive contribution in equipping young people of Lipalale with localized educational tools that will help them to ultimately realize their full potential, raising the next generation of strong, confident young people. Learners battle out a great deal of social ills that sometimes negatively affect teaching and learning. O kry-a ngwana a tshaba le ho ya sekolong, a tshaba bana ba bang. And this thing ya bullying, ya direga le mo banyaneng, ebe banyana. Ke bone picture e nngwe Minister Maabane. Batswadi ba batla ho nna ba tlo complaina hore bana ba bona ba suspendile sekolong. Ke girls, Pretoria girls. Then, le nna ke nka serious this matter gore, why ba suspenda bana for more than 2 weeks sekolong and re batamela nako ya di-exam. He ke latelela taba ke founela Gauteng Education gore, le itse ka taba e. They sent me the picture, I was so afraid what the girls did to this girl, what led to them being suspended. Ba mo goga meriri, ba mo tlopula meriri ya tswa mo tlhogong, and ba mo lwantsha ba le more than 10, ba betha ngwanyana o mo 1, ba mo tlopula meriri. And he ba itla go nna ba tla ka site A1, and he nkebe nna ke shianetse o ya sekolong ke re, why le suspenda bana? He ba ntlhalosetsa ka re, ka sala ke nyamile ka mo romela motho that picture gore bona gore bana ba lena ba irile eng. So it's so bad ge iba banyana ba ile gore they bully other girls. So bana ba ka don't be bulls, ne? Le ska bullishana, le ska lwana bana ba ka, ne? Le ska kwata, go na le dilo tse dingwe di batla gore kwate o itshehela fela. He batla go bolella ka maemo a mmele wa hao, o ka khona wa change, o ka se khona wa change. Then why o kwata, why o batla betha batho hore why a re le nna mmele wa ka o so ke wa ka, I'm proud ke mmele wa ka, I'm proud ke a o rata. Le motho a ka reng ke a mmolela hore ke wa ka ke a o rata. O ska kwata, le ska kwata hle bana ba ka, because he le kwata le betha bana ba bangwe and ba go kuba sekolong, and then ina mathata future how ya fela. So dilo tse ile gore bana ba rena ba lebane le tsona a se bullying fela, ba lebane le di-HIV, AIDS, sexual transmitted diseases le TB. Re nkile nako e telele re lwantshana le COVID-19, and at that time a ra lebala mara a ra ba le nako ya gore re focus ko TB, and bana ba rena ba bantši le batho ba bagolo ba bolawa ke TB. So swantse re itlhokomele, re check, re ye ditleliniking ro checka gore a rena TB na, and le ngwana ha simolola a bana le di-actions tse e leng gore re di tlhalohanye, monke o mo ise tleliniking ba khone go mo alafa bolwetse ba tuberculosis. So rena le policy ya teenage pregnancy. Ha re tlhotlholetse teenage pregnancies di rega ko mahaeng, and hence re bua ka ngwaga wa 2021-2022, 1 year re bile le bana ba more than 135,000 ba belegileng bana from the age of 10 to 19, and wa bona gore ke bana ba sekolo. So swantse re ba tlhokomele re le batswadi, and le bo malume re ba tlhokomele gore re ska tlohela bana le bo malume, because di pregnancy tse di tswa bo malumeng, ke bo malume ba ile gore ba tlisa di pregnant. So rena re batla go leboga Unilever for once again gore ba identify a brand ya go tshwana le Dove, and Dove ga itlile ka jeku e tlo fa bana ba rena di gifts, and tsa o tlhotlheletsa self-esteem, tsa o tlhotlheletsa boitshepo. Ho o tlhapile ka sesipa, o tlhapile meno, wa tsentša roll on, le wena ho o tsamaya wa khona o di tlhalohanya gore ya ke motho le nna ke na le seriti go tshwana le batho ba bangwe. So re a leboga go menehane, and re leboga mahosi a rena le kamohelo e botse re kry-ileng mo hae, re itumetse ka nnete le setšhaba ka kakaretso batswadi re a leboga. he minister wa rena a tsena mo re kwile gore no o amohetswe o tlile hae batho ba mo thabetse and a re tsweleng pele re thabele baetapele ba rena especially ba ile gore ba itse gore ba kgethilwe ke batho and ba khona go ya mo bathong a ba re kae ke kgole and they go. Our minister, to be honest, she goes everywhere in South Africa. She touches even those places where some of us could not touch. But when o ka mo lebella o na le energy e ngata mme o khona o fitlhella mo batho ba bangata ba sa fitlheleng. So re a go leboga minister. I wish to declare this sitting officially open. Thank you, Program Director.
Shine, everybody, shine. Self-esteem means I believe in me. Who do you believe in? Me. Today we are going to celebrate feeling good about ourselves, knowing that we're strong and young and we can do everything to own our futures. That means staying healthy. Staying healthy means eating good food, not getting pregnant, making sure you go to the doctor when you're sick, getting your education. What does that mean? Going to school every day, even if you don't feel like it. Doing the tough subjects like maths and science, and learning robotics. And playing sport. Who plays sport? Who loves soccer? We have our 2 under-16 teams. They have gone now to play football for COSAFA, and they're under 16, and they're girls and boys just like you. We want all of you to be physically active, play the game, and don't score any of your own goals. What do we mean? When you score your own goals, that means that you are defeating the purpose of being a winner in your life. We want to make sure that you don't bully other people, that you live peacefully, that you live by the values of our Constitution. And today we have brought leaders who are going to sit in a panel, and they're going to share with you all of the ways in which you can make sure that you are in control of your life. Self-esteem rocks. Does self-esteem rock? Yes. Thank you so much. Today we thank our partners, our Dove, for bringing us the Dove Self-Esteem Initiative that wants to build up every single girl child from the tip of her toes to the tip of her head. And we're saying, let's bring the boy child with us, because where there's a girl child, there's a boy child, and we walk together. So enjoy today, and we move back now to our program director. Thank you.
Ndi Masiari. Rovua zwavhuḓi. Ndi khou livhuwa mtshimbidza mushumo ri nna ke nke sebaka se ke o leboge nako e mfileng yona. Nna mmereko wa ka a se o motelele ke o tla fela ke re a ke dumediše ka mo mošate re thobela ba re dumelang madume a fele re tla no phela re dumediša ke dumediše our deputy minister who has joined our minister, my colleagues, honorable councillors that are here, the officials from both the Department of Education at National and the team that is with me from the provincial office. Irinkis kankanako maraki dumedishe batswadi re a le leboga le utlwe ore ba re minister wa tla la emella la tlo bona ore bana ga re bolela le bona re reng. Nna ke tletse mo ore ke tle ke emishe minister wa rena ke mma rena motshwara tipa ka mo bogaleng a re ba bethele matsogo. Marina Riabatsiba, we know you, Mama, as a brand name. Havari Ejimutsega, bo botlhe basadi ba mo South Africa re a tseba hore ne ba le president ya rena ya bomme a ke re a itseba taba eo we. Aha, so re a o tseba mma o emiša ka o introduce ko re no dira yona protocol. Mara marina ba bile motho ba thomileng ko Gauteng ba bereka as an MEC wa both social development le department ya rena ya education ha ba fetsa ba emella ba ya ko parlamente ha ba bereka marina ba berekile le ka officing ya o promoter gender issues. So taba e re bolelang ka yona today ba itseba ba e utlwisisa. That's why re bona dikolong tsa rena marina ba kgone ho re fa di program tse di kgonong ho bolela le bana ba rena. Since marina ba joina parlamente ka 2009 ba ile ba appointiwa uba minister wa rena wa basic education. Le tla gopola hore since then go bile le di changes a ke re nna le nna re be re sa di tsebo re Davi ka tla ya tla ya re ngwane wa ngwanyana itla mo le wena o motho a ke re marina mamutla ba tle ka team ye e tlisang hore e change se maphelo. Marina ka bo bona ke mma wa lapa le bona bana le bana gape ba dirile ki mistress kuri if o bolela ka mistress o thoma ka minister wa rena ke gale re sa thoma fashion ya hore educators re sa re ki bona mistress ba ile ba dira masters ya bona ba researcha ka hore basadi le lepolelo di tsenella jwang mo in our education system. She did a master's research on education, women development and language studies. So le a bona re bolela ka moetapele o mamutla ga re emella re tlisa marina ka mo pele ke moetapele wa rena wa NEC ya rena ya African National Congress gape ke siro sa cabinet ya president ya rena Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa re emisa minister wa rena wa basic education me Angie Motshega a re emelle ka maoto re ba amogela.
Ke a leboha. Dimasiari program director. Dumelang hle. Le right. Ke a leboha. Ere ke thome ka o lebisa tlhompho ya ka boikokobetso bo boholo ho kgosi ya Baphuting ba Kgaseleka ke re dumelang. Ke ise tlhompho ho mosebetsi mmoho le nna Dr. Regina Mohaule e re sebetsa mmoho le yena. Ke ise tlhompho ho MEC ya rona Melirule Ramakhanya MEC. Ke ise tlhompho ho ketapele kaofela ya moshate ya boreneng ke dumedisa kaofela ke di dumedisa ka tlhompho e kgolo. Also give my greetings and respect to our councillors that are here, just to take the time to be with us. Thank you very much. I'm also aware that we have our representatives from teacher unions. Thank you very much for joining us. I saw members Sasatu and then I saw also the leadership from Peu, Naptosa. Thank you very much for making the time to join us. Thank you very much for coming. I also want to thank Leader Study SGP for attending here, teachers who are here with our children, but more, haholo, kitabaholo, hubona bomme batlile batletse misebetsi bona ho ba le rona. It means a lot to us. Really haholo boteng ba lona. But also important is our learners. But ba re tlileng ka bona ke re dumelang bana ba ka. Re lewa haholo boteng ba lona. Members of the media and distinguished guests, Indeed, Program Director, for me it's a privilege to come and discuss about the girl child. Bana ba ka. Wa tseba ho na le pina e nngwe ya Women's League, which I really like with all my heart because it says a lot about leli lizwe lamakhosikazi. Because it really is true. Let us we haholo, but it is true. Makgowa are what is a home without a mother? Kore, it just summarizes the importance and the value of girl children. So how about say it's happy? Hey, but it's a refokole, man. Okay. So tshwantse ba itshepe because le lizwe labo gore lefatshe le ke la bona. Bana ba ka. Re tlisa bophelo, re hlokomela bophelo, gore re dintho tse kaofela tse teng tse bohlokwa lefatsheng. But le bomme ba tseba re sa ba nyatse bontate ra ba hloka bontate because tlhoke tjore ha ne se ka bona le bana ba re ba ratane re tla ba rata ba le kae re fulwe ke bona kere. But ba tseba hore ha ona le lapa le sena mme gore le ha o na le moahisane ho sena mme wa tseba hore bana ba teng ke dikepso re ke sona mona ha ona mme mole gore ha ona le hae ka ntle ha mme ra di tlhoka but la tseba le lona kere. What, and what is a home without a mother? So I also want to thank Dove for partnering us on this one also amongst the many other programs. And I'm sure if we had time with DM, we will join you on the road shows on this program here, self-esteem about our girl children. Because program director is right. When girl children begin to doubt themselves, they are opening up themselves to so many, many problems, Banabag. Aker. O ska ma le motho mong a o bolelang ka wena, wena I bolele ka wena, o tseba se bohlokwa bophelong ba hao. And se bohlokwa ke wena. And I'm also very grateful, Program Director, because it's not the first time that we've been with you, and I'm glad that you also have young women that help us to talk to the girl child. And I'm very happy. And I'm very proud that you are joining us. So as we commemorate our International Day of the Girl Child to honor girls, and I'm told it's 10 years that we've been honoring these girls. And I'm proud, and I can say it to these kids here with pride, MEC, that Maubani, it was trending to have 2 girls after 88 years being the first women pilots. 2, after 88 years. Ho bontshang hore bana ba ka menyetla e teng. And I'll quickly talk about these girls because one of the girls is the late, the Soviets, the late Mos Mutsega's daughter. Her father is the elder brother to my husband, one of the girls. But what was a pride for us as a family is to remember who Refilwe is, and which is what all of you are. Because Refilwe, as Wanoko Mutsega, where else she's married. And I'll get back to that. She grew up, I mean, she didn't have anything special which you don't have. Let's go education, that's one. She went to local schools, that's one. But the only distinguishing girl when she was your age, because we had to remember her, when Refilwe gets here, who is Refilwe? She was a very happy child. She still is a very happy child. Very respectful child. Very humble child. And all she wanted in her life was to play and read. She just wanted to play. When she was this age, how much she'll say, so which means you just dream. Dream. If you can have one or whole indication in la go kapani, I cannot go to kapani. and break 88 years of history and be the first African girl who is a pilot for SAA, which means all our girls can dream and be what they are, because that's what she did. And the chances are that, and I always tell these young girls, ke re read, le pass matric ya lona ke re, le tswe mo. Le ke le ko bo vetsi le kae, ko re o ka utswa mo holetseng teng ke re. O tlo bona bo Mweresi, because the man is married to is from Kimberley. Ana dutse kwa Kgapane, na sa tlo kopana le Mweresi ke re. So you dream and you can fly, you can go anywhere. So I'm really saying this to our children, that Munyetla Uteng was celebrating this thing, not as a light thing, because we really are very, with the DM, very interested in the girl child, maybe ourselves as women, to say we have to take somebody with us. And when young girls like MEC succeed, it's our success. When I see young women succeeding, we've made it. Okay. But success here, how it's a more about latelang. If the people coming after you don't succeed, you have failed, you're not yourself. And I take pride when I see young girls driving big cars and I say, my God, we made it. We made it, look at them, we really have made it. So you have to succeed not only for yourself, but for us. In 1994, I used to work, I was working in Pretoria and staying in Joburg. And I was lucky that I was working the presidency, I could afford a car. There were very few of us on the road. There were very few of us driving on the road as early as 1994. But now, I'm telling you, we have arrived. So the others must arrive. It's a pride, it's a joy, because when a girl succeeds, statistics tell us that homes of enlightened and educated children have got high standards of living. Homework. The health profiles are good, and the home is stable. But I think, as our panel said, our girls continue to face unprecedented problems. And we have to own up to it and we have to deal with it. Our young girls get killed by their partners. Our young girls get into all sorts of problems that also hurt us. So as we celebrate that indeed we've arrived with our girl children, but we are also aware that our girl children are under extreme pressure and they are being killed by their partners. Every time you open, and also, and I'm very happy that Mkhoshi Butleyabo joined. I'm very happy. I really feel honored. You came in your numbers because, as one of the speakers says, it takes a village to raise a child, and there are things we have to talk about as Basotho or as Batho ba Batsho. Because now to say it's a halang huruna fela. This I say hingo bathong ba bang. High levels of teenage pregnancy are an African phenomenon or a black phenomenon. And libona ba bang bo mos libona ba shibanteng ke bashimane. Ona nixe wrong ka bona, but they know when things get done. And I'm also glad, program director, that we really have young girls like you, because we have to talk to these girls. I'll tell you, for me it's a hobby sometimes. When I have time in the morning, I go to school and speak to young girls. We had a program under her branch, under Dr. Grenville, Comprehensive Sexuality, when we're trying to deal, and really going on the road shows, got teenage pregnancy. Because teenage pregnancy is not something small, it's big. MEC is telling me a sad story, I won't talk about it, but it just reflects how big the problem is at teenage pregnancy. And our kids don't know it. So, coach, when we were doing Toya comprehensive sexuality, go parliament ba re ke ruta bana tsa mapai. O ka mpolela hore ke le mokana-kana ke tla bua taba tsa mapai, ke di thoma kae? Because we're trying to educate our kids about their bodies, about sexuality. But what happened, program director? Again. Akso told me. But what happened, when I spoke to these young girls, because we're using young girls as ambassadors, going everywhere with them to get these girls to really, and you will talk to them, some are 16, they have children. Then I will ask them, how did it come that you were pregnant at this age? And what was a lesson to me, they will say, Mama, if I knew, I would not have gone that way. So which gives me really joy to see young girls talking to young girls, because they didn't go out to look for children. None of those kids I spoke to said, no, I really wanted to see how does it feel to have a child. No. They all say, we didn't know. If we knew, we would not have gone that way. So it is important for us to talk about the girls' self-esteem, about their sexuality, about their body, and about their well-being. Because if we don't do it, they will answer me the way they've answered, that they didn't fall pregnant because they were looking for children. They did not know. So there should be no one who says they don't know when you are there. Make them aware of the dangers and the difficulties of a low self-esteem. Because they will say, Mama, I did not know. Potso ya ka kore ha no sa tsebe no etsang. When you didn't know. And bottom line of it all, it means they have low self-esteem. They were trying to please men with their bodies, because these girls didn't really go looking after sex. So because babatla o thabisa motho, hore moshimane o mo etsetse favor ka re o a mo rata, tshwantse le yena a bontsha hore o a mo rata, ka o etsa ntho e tlo mo kenyang bothateng. So self-esteem can be extremely dangerous. At my age, I speak to Kengebo Hudisan, don't get me. What's Zula Fats, madam? Yeah, what's Zula when I come in? The point we're making was these young girls sometimes get into very dangerous relationships because mututse wa o rata ka re o etsetse favor, so you have to sit also under very difficult conditions. And I always advise them, because at my age, they know now I'm old, I'm no longer judging them. I don't know what to do. And I always tell them, your solution is to succeed. That's the only thing you can do. Succeed to go out of the relationship to success. Just to be able to take that stand, that's your success. Read and be educated, that's your success. They say, you can't, it's not sometimes easy to fix a broken man. You won't fix them. Don't try to fix broken things. Sometimes again. So, or musi ha re ka swana re o gatoge a kra musi o fatla re o gatoge, and hona o gatoga it's success. But more than anything, that we have lots of adults coming here, nasa botlhokwa se le ka beleng ke tsentse sona molemo ko re bueng le bana re ba fe matla hore motho a tswele pele a itshepe yena. We've been through those things before. I grew up a very shy child, and it's all about self-esteem. You are not even focusing on the things that you are supposed to do, and sometimes you just don't even say the right things because you don't have confidence. So we're saying here to our children, they must please, please look after themselves, have self-esteem. The program director, I'm always on road shows with her. Mama Angie. So let me say the other point that I really want to say, also about the girl, boy, child. And I'm very happy that you had men also talking, because that's another big problem. That's another big problem. And that's why we have to speak to our boy children. They have to appreciate that the real men don't abuse women, but they protect them. But also know that this abuse, half the time comes back to them, which is very sad, especially for me as a mother of boys. That boys are so dispensable is not funny because of the wrong attitude they have to life. It's not only towards women, even to themselves. The biggest number of children on drugs are boys. The biggest number of men, of people who are homeless are men. The biggest number of people who die from unnatural diseases are men. Deaths are men. And the biggest number of prisoners are men. So they are also dispensable in a very sad manner. So it's important for us to help them understand, when we say we want to promote the girl child, we want to do towards a boy refill. We're saying for 88 years, there's never been a man who's a pilot. After 88 years, that's what we're talking about. We have to open doors for girl children, because indeed doors have been closed for girl children, and our girl children grow with low self-esteem and think that their responsibility is to try and please other people. I once tried a program, hair must fall. Hair must fall. It's in a school. Because when I'm taught something about and I'm going to email them. I short hair, right, but we are told that to be beautiful is to be something else. So I as a program director, and really want to thank you and thank DAF most sincerely. I really want to thank you most sincerely. I want to thank Makhoshi Aruna, and I'm happy Dr. Say coming because I think they can help us with the boy child. And I think Haitla Khorong, every Khoro, and saying to our boys, the empowerment of women has nothing to do with their disempowerment. That's why on the other hand, we must not give up, especially to these young girls, talking to these young girls. As I said, every time I talk to them to say, but how did you get here? At 16, you're pregnant. And they said they didn't know. They say if we knew differently, we will not be where we are. And always warn them, A1 for the price of one. How can you one give one, 3 for the price of one? Yeah? So li tlhokomeleng bana ba ka le tle le bang dintlong tsa rona re tlo le rata ene le tle le ba dile le teng a ke re ska tla le tlo ba morwala ke re le mo a ke re girls la ntshepiso re tlo bala ke re la tswa mola lo ipatlela ba bang ba khonyana ko bo Gauteng ka se ba re induku enhle igawulwe ezizweni niyo gawula kwenye izizwe niphethe induku ezinhla ngithi nyakhuluma nyasizulu or la tshwara nyana or se nthabisa fela la bona re ba mphusha ke a leboa program director ke tlo mo lokisa next time. I will not allow you to share.
So if you can please tell us What are we doing about the boy child to make sure that the boy child protects the girl child, but also improve their education outcomes so that they can outsmart the girls?
So re bile mo magareng that issue. Ya gore ge re bereka le both the genders. Re bereke together as a collective. So language e re bulelang kudu, and the center of this program is adolescent and young people. Mara, that does not mean we neglect the issues of the different genders, because there are issues that affect girls that must be addressed. There are issues that affect the boy child that must be addressed specifically. But as we are addressing those issues in their own corners, we are all collectively joined together by the issue of addressing the issues of adolescent and young people.
So tell us, how does sport contribute to the agenda that we are driving with DAV of self-esteem for our girls?
Okay. So the sport with women has been growing significantly. Beyond that, we've had Patrice Motsepe's school league starting, with the various areas, with the regions of SAFA. We've had lots of leagues starting where you can play club football, the schools especially in the greater areas, and that's one of the issues we face, which I'll come to. The areas which are densely populated, or your Gautengs, your KZNs, your Western Capes, there where it's densely populated, we get more success. So we need to talk about how we can come here to Limpopo and help our girls. I was very sad when the speaker asked how many of the girls play football. And when I looked around, I see none of the girls put their hands up. So for me, it's very sad. I need to come here and introduce football, try and do something to uplift the soccer in the areas that are not predominantly successful with soccer within our leagues.
Your last parting words, Muzi?
Yeah. My parting words will be, it takes a village to raise a child. It will also take the very same village to protect and to support a girl child. So to our beautiful girls and young kids in school, we just urge you to participate in the extracurriculum activities and programs that the department and the partners like the DAF Self-Esteem Peer Education Program, or Soul Buddies, and the Groundbreakers. Because with that is where we will be able to assist and support, and also to parents to say, please support us to support our children. Thank you.
What are some of the self-esteem issues that are happening and being experienced in schools that are impacting Bana ba rona? What are those challenges that they're facing?
The challenges that they receive, ke gore o tlo kry-a ko sekolong ba ba gwara, ke itse go gwara ka Setswana ba re keng? Teasing. I think teasing ka English ne ke batla ka Setswana.
Yes.
Mara ba ba teaser. Maybe as program director was indicating, o na le tlhogo e kgolo. He ba re o na le tlhogo e kgolo, ba bolelela ka yona every day. And o tshaba le go ya mo bathong ka gore wena o na le tlhogo e kgolo. Or o otile, o tshwana le nna ke sa gola, I was very thin. Kore ba go bitsa ka maina a dinonyana kaofela. And o to tlhagelela mo bone, o gopolo gore ish, ba tlo mpitsa ka tsie, ba tlo mpitsa ka eng. So le maemo a ko hae, ko heno le robala le sa ja. And I want diaparo tse di botse. Then o kry-a ba go gwara ka tsone gore wena o apara ntho e one every day. And ntho e feleletsa ira gore ngwana a ska ba le self-esteem, a tshabe o tlhagelela mo pila batho.
What are some of the steps that the government has taken to ensure that a terrible tragedy like what happened to Rufuno does not happen again?
Our schools normally have life orientation as part of the curriculum. They also would have a safety committee which is supposed to look at just the general learner well-being. So we have a program of learner well-being, but as the DM is saying, some of the, like the Lifuno matter, the school's a big school, schools are big, we focus on learning and teaching, and some of the things can grow through the tracks, can go through the cracks. If children don't report, and that's why you need to have a very good rapport with your school, with your teacher. If children don't report being bullied, because bullying happens in the corner, it doesn't happen in the classroom. It happens in the buses, it happens at home, and that's why all of us, even as parents, have to begin to see when a child is unhappy, but also circumstances which also add on the children's unhappiness. And there are some of the things which, it's a pity I don't want to talk about Lifuno in particular, but there are things that add on the pressure, yabana. Long distance, I mean, to go to school, for instance, I had to travel for 2 hours. It's very stressful. So even sometimes a small thing, which, not even a small thing, anything can trigger stress if there are other stressful matters around the child which are not being attended to. I mean, a child who has to be in a bus at 5 has to arrive at school at 8, so it just creates another a pressure and another stress. A child also, I mean, the school she went to, it's a very highly competitive school, where success is good marks and it adds on children's stresses. So there are quite a number that we educate parents around, but also home conditions where you find that there's a stressful situation at home, which also will trigger any slight thing at school. So your socio-economic factors are also very important. A child just feels vulnerable because there are difficulties at home, vulnerable because there's a class pressure, vulnerable. So even the bullying around the corner triggers all those things. So we really look at a comprehensive program to say, how do we have a comprehensive, we call it wellness program for our children, their health, both psychologically, emotionally, and materially. If they don't have proper shoes, they get very stressed and very embarrassed. Small things. Even educate girl children. That's why some of the kids who fall pregnant, they were looking for old men, not because of anything, but somebody will buy them a hair. Whereas if they really go out of those social pressures of being beautiful looking hair and say, if you are smart, you can only be the following, then we are able to reduce the strength. But in short, is to have a comprehensive program which involves the learners themselves, that they must report incidents of bullying, the educators themselves to be able to identify children are at risk, but the families also, and ourselves as society, minimize things that add to the stress that our children sometimes experience.